Ladies and gentlemen, I want to see how quickly you guys can do this. We have a hashtag here that not only that I created, but we've actually kind of popularized this statement when it comes to dating choices that a lot of these mothers are making, the type of dudes that they date. Do any of you guys who have been watching my channel for any length of time know what that hashtag is? If y'all want to type it in the chat, feel free while I give you guys a disclaimer before we jump into this story. Some of you guys might find my content controversial or offensive. And it's crazy that I show this all the time and tell you that it's going to be controversial and people still getting their little feelings with their little thin skin. The information from this video is coming from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news websites, and interviews. My video commentary also contains my personal opinions about this story, about the facts of this story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. Okay? Now, let me tell you who all got the hashtag correct this time. Let me give a shout out to No Lee, American Bully, Sandy, Lizzie, Cheryl, Beauty, Mookie Lolo, and JJ. Y'all got it right. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Does anybody know what that simple statement means? I'm not saying that everybody who is rough around the edges presents a danger to you or your children. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anybody who's ever been in a gang, anybody who's ever been arrested or been to jail, been to prison. I'm not saying they're all bad people, just throw them out the window. I'm not saying that. Because a lot of people who have done bad things have turned their lives around and done great. I know some people personally that have. But at the same time, I think judgment is important. I think it is imperative that we are much more careful about not only who we procreate with, but who we bring our children around. This story comes out of Philly. Philly, y'all taking the L today. Yet again, Philly, come to the front of the congregation. We got to talk about this. A Philadelphia man is accused of stabbing a mother of 6 children who previously obtained an order of protection against him, according to authorities. And I'm getting this information today from Oxygen.com, so thank you for the article. Raymond Thompson, who's 34 years old. Let me see if I can get Mr. Raymond Thompson's face up on the screen. Right here, I want y'all to look at this little sad puppy dog eye face looking little boy right here. Because you would think that if you were a grown man, you would understand that when you walk into a situation with a woman that has kids, and I'm assuming not all of these kids are his. I'm going to assume. I don't know that. But a lot of children, 6 children at that, statistics tell us that this woman probably had more than one father of all of these kids. But I don't know that for a fact, and I don't want to disparage her by putting out false information. I don't know that. I'm just saying statistics say that these kids probably got more than one dad. It's probably not one dad to all 6 of these kids. That's all I'm saying. But he's 34 years old and was taken into custody Saturday morning, less than an hour after the body of Ashley Lockhart, who was the mother, this woman right here, who's 34 years old with 6 kids. What are you saying, DJ Just J? Are you saying there's something wrong with having 6 kids? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying, I got 2 kids, and I'm telling you, it is stressful trying to take care of 2 kids, and we're all helping raising those 2 kids in my family. It is a difficult thing to raise multiple children. Let alone 3, let alone 4, let alone 5, let alone 6. That means people are sharing bedrooms. The space that you're living in becomes more and more condensed. The needs of the children grow. The house size stays the same. Yes, that is going to create stress. That's too many kids. Thank you, Kimberly. And shout out to Kimberly Flower. Make sure you guys subscribe to her channel if you haven't already done so. Much love, much love. It is a stressful thing. Why do I bring that up? Because I think that even in a marriage, which I don't believe that they were married, but even in a marriage, it is very difficult for a mother and father, a husband and wife, to stay on the same page, raise a bunch of kids under one roof, and still keep their emotions in check. It is a difficult task to ask of someone. Let alone when you don't have that social construct called marriage, and you just out here just plugging away. You find a girl you like, and you sticking dick to her, unprotected, no condoms, no contraceptives, and making babies out here, sir. Huh? To the ladies. These ladies are finding these dudes. Ooh, girl, he cute, girl. I'm going to get me some of that. I'm going to make him my baby daddy. Right? Go get with this man because she think they can make some cute babies together. Think he cute, like his game. He rough around the edges, got a criminal history. Oh, she love that shit. Right? She love that. And then they take these pictures. Let me put this picture up on the screen because I know a lot of women out there because I see y'all do it on Facebook all the damn time. So I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing for the rest of this damn year. Where's this picture at? Let me get this up on the screen. And I'm talking to the urban black community tonight. How many of my sisters out there that share my skin color, my sisters, right? If you saw this picture posted on Facebook, you would look at that and say, oh, that's a cute family. They all got on the same pants, the same shirt, everybody matching. They look like a happy, cute family, y'all. I wish I could have that, y'all. I wish I could have that. I wish I could find me a man that'll be around me and my kids like that. We can make some kids together, y'all. That's so cute. They all got the latest J's on, and oh, their hair is so cute. They got the nails done, y'all. Do I have any sisters in the chat or any brothers in the chat can tell y'all I'm not lying? Every time you open up Facebook, there's somebody out there with a ton of kids that'll give this 2,000-3,000 likes. When I post a picture of me and my daughter, oh, we might get maybe 20-30 likes. But if I had 9, 10, 11 kids and standing there taking a picture with some woman's children with all her babies, and we all got on Jordans and jeans and dollar store t-shirts, and we all matching, then we get 2,000-3,000 likes on there. Somebody tell me if I'm lying. Post it in the chat. This is a free opportunity for y'all to tell me if Just Jay is saying something that is factually inaccurate. Okay, now, let's move past my little rant. They found this woman's body an hour after, on Saturday morning, less than an hour after the body of Ashley Lockhart, 34 years old with 6 kids, was found stabbed to death inside a minivan, according to a statement from the Philadelphia Police Department emailed to Oxygen.com. Police responded to reports of a person with a weapon on Chestnut Street around 8:20 a.m. and found Ashley Lockhart in the front passenger seat of a 2002 Honda Odyssey. Officials say that she sustained stab wounds to her neck and arms before she was pronounced dead at 8:27 a.m. The stab to the neck wound, or to the neck wound, the wounds to the neck, the stabbing to the neck, I can understand. But do y'all know why she had stab wounds on her arm? Those are called defensive wounds. She was trying to stop this man from killing her and stabbing her. Defensive wounds. She was pronounced dead at 8:27 a.m. The scene was held, the weapon was recovered, the vehicle was towed, police said in their statement, citing the motive as domestic. Officials say that Thompson was arrested at 9:04 a.m. on charges of murder and possessing instruments of crime. Fox Philadelphia affiliate WTXF, the news, I'm going to just say the news, which identified Thompson as the father of Lockhart's children. Of all the children? Damn, if he the father of all them kids, boy. 6 kids, bro, and y'all are like, what, in your early 30s? They're both 34 years old. 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. And that's if they had all the kids back to back to back to back, which I'm sure they didn't. So you got to back that up like a U-Haul truck. And they were probably having babies, I'd say, so 34, 24, probably in their early 20s. And just kept making kids. Matter of fact, they never stopped making kids because even the littlest child, let me go back to that picture. I'll bring it back up for you. Where's it at? As you guys can see from this picture, he's actually holding the smallest child. The infant. Do you see it on the left-hand side? The girl on the right-hand side looks like she's maybe 10, maybe 12. Back to back to back. Every opportunity she got to get pregnant, she was having kids. Anyway. Thompson allegedly told investigators that he killed Lockhart out of jealousy, convinced that she was unfaithful in their relationship, law enforcement sources told the Philadelphia Inquirer. He allegedly claimed to have used heroin before deciding to surrender to authorities. So he's trying to come up with an excuse. Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner said Thompson was known to the police after Lockhart obtained what police cited as a valid protection order against Thompson. It was unclear when Lockhart obtained the order and in what context. He said, "I don't have specifics to answer you on this man's record," said Krasner. "I do know it's very lengthy, and I know the case is extremely sad and very, very troubling." Let's take a effing pause right there. He said, "I can't give you exact details, but I know he has a lengthy criminal history, a lengthy record." Hashtag date thugs, date death. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. What are some of the other hashtags that we have? Let me see if I can find them. Hashtag live by the thug, die by the thug. How long have I been preaching this message and people still aren't listening? Women who are in these situations have an opportunity, a clear opportunity every day to share these videos. They always sharing some crazy funny stuff from TikTok, something funny. They're always sharing quotes on Facebook and Instagram. Why won't they share information that could save their lives and tell their friends, look, girl, you probably don't want to be dating the way that you're dating. You probably don't want to date some dude that has a lengthy criminal history, right? You might not want to take your kids to the thug zoo. Why won't they share that? Why won't they share these videos? I get people that will email me. I actually thought, I ain't gonna lie, I thought about actually posting it in the community tab. I took a screenshot of this girl's email that sent me an email, and all she did was curse me out. Curse me out. I don't even know what story she was even mad about. She just sent me a stupid email. It was unintelligible. I didn't understand it, but she was cussing me out. And I was like, I'm going to post this on my community wall so people can see that I'm not making this up. That people are this damn stupid. They would rather take their energy and fight me rather than just share the story, share the message, share the sentiments for the children that you got to stop putting your kids in these bad spots. There is no way that these people in their 20s and 30s can financially take care of 6 kids. How? In Philly? No. What did they do for a living? Were they business owners? Probably not. Unless you were making a lot of money as a business owner, there's no way that they could have had 6 kids plus taking care of themselves. That's 8 individuals under one roof. And you're telling me that y'all had plenty of money to take care of yourselves and live comfortably. That's a hell no. It's not impossible, but just not likely. Let's keep going. A lengthy criminal history. So he already probably had a criminal record before she even got with him. But you could have looked up, did a background check, could have found that out. Joanne Pescator, chief of homicide for the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, stated Thompson and Lockhart lived with one another despite the protective order, according to CBS affiliate KYW-TV. So she got a protective order. You know why she did that? And then they still continued to live together? It's just like a lot of these people who want to put child support on a man's head. Knowing they don't need the money, knowing whether they get the money or whether they don't, they just want to have something to hang over a man's head. Tell me if I'm lying, but a lot of women will put a VPO on a man and still let that man come kick his feet up at her house, still sleep with that man, still be in a relationship with that man while there is a valid protection order, just because she wants to have control over him. So the second that he acts up, she can take that paperwork. I ain't got no paperwork. So she can say, I got this paperwork on you. I can send your butt to jail, Mr. Raymond Thompson. I got your name right here. VPO. VPO, y'all. Just to hold it over his head. Thompson's crimes reportedly date back to 2005. So that is 17 years ago. It dates back to 2005, including an arrest for aggravated assault per CBS affiliate. So that means this was before she had any kids with him. Kim said, I wouldn't want to be a single mom with 6 kids. That's insane. Aggravated assault in 2005. The Inquirer reported Thompson was also sentenced to between 6 and 23 months in prison in 2018 after attempting to escape officers arresting him on a drug violation. That was while they were together. Thompson pled guilty to risking catastrophe and resisting arrest after jumping onto train tracks, according to the outlet. It's unclear when Thompson and Lockhart began their relationship. Now, Lockhart's family created a GoFundMe page, of course, because this grown woman did not have life insurance. I know everybody says, well, why would you get life insurance on the kids? You're not expecting your kids to die. But this woman was 34 years old. When are you supposed to get life insurance? At what point? Now, they put up a GoFundMe page. Let me see if I can find that GoFundMe information real quick. Yep, right here. So, they put up a GoFundMe page, and they're asking for $30,000. And so just because she procreated and just because her bodily vaginal functions actually work, and I guess her ovaries are intact, they decided to give money to this GoFundMe in the amount of $79, almost $80,000 because she had 6 children. Now, some people might look at that and say that's a lot of money, and depending on how you look at it, that $80,000 can be a lot of money. But I want y'all to think about this: $80,000 might be a lot if you were trying to give that money to whoever is going to take care of one child and raise that child for the next 10 years until they're grown. Or maybe put it in a trust fund so that they can get an early start in life. That might be a lot to one child. You got 6 of them. Let's do a little math real quick. I haven't done this in a while. I can't do it in my head. I'm not that smart. But let's take $80K and divide that by 6 kids. That's $13,000. Do y'all know how much it costs to take care of one child per year? Estimated? Let's just say if you're not even below the poverty line. Let's just say like if you're like, what do they call that? Middle class. If you're a middle class family and you're taking care of one child, how much does it cost you to take care of one child per year? The amount that is being split up between 6 of these children wouldn't take care of them for 1 year. It would help, and it's nice, it's generous. I'm glad that people had their heartstrings plucked, right? That's nice. It's nice that you had these benevolent white people out there, because it wasn't a bunch of black people donating all this money. That's white people. I'm sorry, but it is. That's the damn truth. Anytime a GoFundMe go up and they get $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $400 million in there, that ain't us doing that. That ain't black folks doing that. I know my people. We ain't just spending money in GoFundMe. We spending money in big rims, but we ain't spending big money in GoFundMe. Hello. We spending big money in a strip club. We ain't spending big money on GoFundMe. Huh? We'll go spend some money in extremely expensive cars, but we're not going to spend no money in no Kickstarters. Right? Indiegogo? Nope. Not black. Oh, man. I don't know why people get mad at me when I say that. That's the freaking truth. They're like, well, you think it's just all white people donating to GoFundMe? Yeah. Just the same reason I believe that when it comes to rap music, it is funded primarily by white people. Am I lying? Who do you think pays for the majority of Jay-Z and Beyonce's music? Or Lil Baby? Future? You think they're getting all of this money from just black folk buying the albums when they sell 30,000 copies in the first week? You think that's black folk doing that by themselves? Black people, we set the trends. We just don't fund them. Hello. Ooh. I need y'all to bookmark that I said that. I want y'all to give me credit for saying that. Black people, we set the trends. We just don't fund them. Bookmark that. This date, this time. That came from DJ Just Jay off the dome. Let's keep talking about this illustrious story of this thug love story. They said that Ashley was an amazing mother, dedicated working mother, and devoted mother. That's kind of redundant, ain't it? But how much working was she doing with 6 kids? Let me just look, because they family is going to be so mad at me. Let me skip some of this. Relatives gathered Monday night to memorialize Lockhart by releasing green and white balloons. I told y'all better stop with these balloon releases. It's about to be against the law in most states. They release balloons into the sky, into the atmosphere, and then it's going to go into the lake, then it's going to go into people's trees and people's yard, and animals are going to eat it, and animals are going to die. So good job, people. Attendees asked reporters not to film the ceremony out of respect for the victims' daughters. Thompson is expected to appear in court later this week. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I know I have said a lot. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Man, I already know a lot of people ain't going to understand where I'm coming from, but I just hope you listen with an open mind and keep the children first and think about what I'm saying. We are not putting our children in the best position to win. But if y'all would, do me a favor and click that thumbs up. It'll share this video so more people can see it, so this story can get heard, and maybe we can do some real justice together with these kids. All right, here we go. Let's get it.
For other women.
And when I say she was loyal.
A beloved mother attacked and murdered inside a minivan, investigators say by her own boyfriend. Tonight we're learning more about the victim and what led up to this tragedy. Fox 29's Ellen Kaloje reports.
That mother of 6 children was brutally stabbed in front of this grocery store in broad daylight on Saturday. And now the father of her children is charged with murder, and her family hopes that her death serves as a wake-up call for other women.
And when I say she was loyal to this man, very loyal, diehard loyal, do anything for him. And I mean, they just got engaged recently. And so for this to happen, it's not shocking, but it's tragic.
Ashley Lockhart died Saturday after police say she was brutally stabbed multiple times in this minivan by her boyfriend, Raymond Thompson. This surveillance video obtained by Fox 29 shows Thompson just minutes before the attack. The DA's office confirms that Thompson was well known to police and that Ashley had filed a protection from abuse order against him. But despite the PFA, they were still living together.
I don't have specifics to answer for you on this man's record. I do know that it's very lengthy, and I know the case is extremely sad and very, very troubling. I would agree with that for sure.
And this particular victim obviously did the right thing. For some reason, she was back with this man in that particular van. I don't know the circumstances of that. I don't know why that was. But sadly enough, she's not going to be here to tell us what happened.
It's 7:31. We've been telling you that this vigil was held last night for a mother of 6 who was stabbed to death on Saturday morning.
Just 34 years old. Her name, Ashley Lockhart, was found in her minivan. She had been stabbed on Saturday on the 5300 block of Chestnut Street. Hours later, police charged 34-year-old Raymond Thompson, the father of her children, her longtime partner. There he is before this incident occurred. She did have a protection from abuse order against him, but as so often the case, he's the father of her 6 children. They still lived together and still spent time.
Pastor William Brownlee is here, senior pastor of Emmanuel Christian Center over in West Philadelphia, Ashley's first cousin. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for
having me. I know it's tough. Yeah. I cannot believe you and I are sitting next to each other 48 hours after you and I were together in a park in Germantown on Saturday at an anti-violence gathering, a community day. It was such a beautiful day. You got up and spoke about what we can do about gun violence and just violence in general in our city. And you
notice how they said gun violence. They don't talk about the lawbreakers with the guns, and they bring up gun violence. And this didn't even have nothing to do with a gun. She was stabbed. That's what I continue to keep saying. Guns are not the problem. Can somebody type that in the chat? Guns are not the problem. The weapons are not the problem. If people are gonna, stupid is stupid thugs. That's what that means. Stupid people are just gonna do stupid things, and they will find a way. It don't matter. They'll use their bare hands to do violence to people. They're just bad decision makers. They're bringing up gun violence, but she was stabbed though.
Walk off the stage and get a call, right?
Yes, sir.
And what were you told?
That my cousin was murdered. He was found murdered in a van, which was very tragic to me. And I was shocked. I'm like, wait, what? Not my cousin, not Ashley, because her knowing that she's loved by everyone, it was a very tragic news. You know, she loved everybody. I mean, she loved Raymond. She loved him profoundly.
She loved the
him.
man who
Yes.
killed her?
You know, Mike, oftentimes love says, I love you even if you don't have the capacity to love me back. So she was in unconditional love. And one thing about her, she fought for him. And she was the one who loved her children. I'm talking from my experience of Ashley.
I don't mean to cut this brother off, but that unconditional love should start with who first? It should start with loving yourself. Self-love should be the most important person that you love. Love yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself, you don't put yourself as a priority, you can't go loving somebody else. Let alone a man, ladies. Let alone kids. And you should have been thinking about, I need to make sure that if I'm going to have unprotected sex and produce children, that I need to make sure that I love these children enough to put them in the best position. We don't all do that. I'm telling you guys, when I point the finger out there, I'm pointing the finger back at myself because I didn't live by that 15 years ago. Hello? I think that the best people to teach are the ones who screw up, who did not do it right. Like myself. We should be the ones teaching that to the world and say that the way that we did it was not right, especially in this situation. Having 6 kids, you didn't love yourself and you didn't love your kids. You didn't love him. You didn't love anybody. Not enough to put yourself in a better position than what you put yourselves in. To have a VPO on a man and still let him come by the house, you clearly felt threatened enough. Like, why would you do that? And have that over his head? Like, it's like you don't understand. It's like continuously like holding a piece of meat over that thug lion's head. He's going to snap. That's what he does. That is the thug lion's nature.
And one of my first members of Emmanuel Christian Center, I mean, Pastor, can you pray for me and the kids and Raymond? Can you pray for us? Praying for them constantly. But when love is not reciprocated, Mike, that's when it becomes dangerous.
He was on drugs.
Yeah,
powerful drugs.
Mental issues and drug abuse. So these things is what is prevalent in our community. And if we don't deal with this root, it'll continue to spread.
So let's just look at those beautiful little girls because it's just heartbreaking because you think like what happens to these children? They're all under the age, 6 of them under the age of
10,
8.
8.
Oh, it's a 10? Yes, there's a 10,
8.
all the way down to 5 months. And you look at these beautiful faces and these girls with like all of this beautiful potential and they can do anything, but now their mom is dead and their dad will be in jail. And now what happens? It's like our hearts break for them.
Yeah, my desire is that the city of Philadelphia really helps them stay together with the family. Because, you know, growing up, me and my cousins were all split because of the death of our family. All of our aunts and uncles and my mom died. My grandmother's children died in age order. And so with us being split like that, it caused a lot of division. And we've all grown up separately, different ways. And so it was hard to stay intact, stay in touch. So my desire and my prayer is that the city helps us fight to kill this generational curse of division. And that they stay together. Because I understand we're all mad at Raymond, but he's still the father, the living parent that these kids have to grow up to one day face and say, where's my father? So my prayer is that there's no retaliation, there's reconciliation, that forgiveness still happens, because there's something called a generational retaliation. That if we continue to retaliate, it's going, then their children are going to start, you know, being retaliated against. And we got to stop it at the root. So my prayer is that we all fight together. And
the one thing that they won't say is us having babies with thugs needs to stop. I want y'all to tell me, and this is a brother. This brother looks like he's about my age. Maybe he's a little bit younger than me, because I'm getting up there in age. I want you to tell me when you hear him, listen to him. Tell me when he gives you a real solution. We need to come together, stick together, and have unconditional forgiveness. Generational retaliation. I don't know what the fuck. excuse my language, let me not say that. I don't know what the hell he talking about. Generational retaliation? What? I've heard of generational poverty. I've heard of generational uh, government assistance. I've heard of that. It sounds good, and this is why I always tell my ladies, like I've always been real good at talking with the ladies and always trying to share love and share game with them. That's nothing but talk. That's game. That's essentially what it is. It's dressed up. It looks nice. He's a handsome looking brother, handsome looking young brother with a beautiful little girl that you just saw on the screen. That doesn't make him a bad person. But what I'm saying is that the message is just not doing anything. That's not, you can't do anything with that. But when I tell you, if a person has a lengthy criminal history, don't produce kids by that person, that is something you can do something with. If I tell you don't have more children than what you can financially take care of, you can actually do something with that. When I tell you we need to be more careful about having unprotected sex, especially with these STDs running rampant around here, everybody's sleeping with everybody, that is something you can do something with. But just saying cute words, generational retaliation, and we need to all love each other, and they're going to have to face their father one day. What does that even mean? She chose this. Huh? She made a bad choice. She made her bed with a thug and laid in it. And it came back to bite her in the neck and the arms. And it cost her her life. And now it caused these children to not have a mother or a father. Now tell me I don't present real solutions. Somebody talk to me, please.
The system helped us keep the kids together with the family.
How do you keep your faith going?
Constant prayer and lowering my expectations.
How so? What do you mean by that?
Because oftentimes we expect highly of people and things versus expecting highly in God. And so the more I lower my expectations in people and rely on God, when people do what they do, flaws and all, I'm accepting of it.
What the hell? I'm going to rewind that. That nigga just had a mic drop moment. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call him a nigga brother, but good Lord, man. I'm going to rewind that. Y'all tell me what he said that was so poignant. What did he just say? Listen to this again. Even they looked at him and they was like, what do you mean by that? Listen to this again.
Father, the living parent, that these kids have to grow up to one day face and say, where's my father? So my prayer is that there's no retaliation, there's reconciliation, that forgiveness still happens, because there's something called a generational retaliation. That if we continue to retaliate, it's going, then their children are going to start, being retaliated against them. We got to stop it at the root. So my prayer is that we all fight together, and the system help us keep the kids together with the family.
How do you keep your faith going?
Listen at this. I'm sorry, brother. I know he gonna see this. Brother, I'm sorry. He gonna probably send me an angry email. He's gonna say a lot of angry things, I'm pretty sure.
Constant prayer and lowering my expectations.
He said constant prayer and lower your expectations. Let's all type that in the chat. I want y'all to type that. Just type it. Just type the words. If you got your phone or your computer, just type the words and say, lower your expectations and stay in prayer. Just type those words and tell me that makes any level of sense.
And their children are going to start, being retaliated against them. We got to stop it at the root. So my prayer is that we all fight together, and the system help us keep the kids together with the family.
How do you keep your faith going?
Constant prayer and lowering my expectations.
Constant prayer and lower your expectations. Let me take a note of that. Constant prayer, lower my expectations. Got it. Got it.
I think
How so? What do you mean by that?
Because oftentimes we
Look at that. They're looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about?
expect highly of people and things versus expecting highly in God. And so the more I lower my expectations in people and rely on God, when people do what they do, flaws and all, I'm accepting of it.
When people do what they do, flaws and all, I can accept it. Because I have low Some of y'all watched this interview and y'all was like, oh, that made a lot of sense. I feel what he's talking about. Until you have somebody actually point out and tell you, no, that made no freaking sense at all. And he just, look at him, he's smiling like he just had a mic drop moment.
See,
Right.
it's the difference between acceptance and expectation. I learned how to accept what comes and expect less or what I desire from people. So my prayer and faith is in God. That's how I keep my faith, Mike.
I've learned to accept less than the best of people. So he sounds like one of those people that says, I don't believe in judging people. I'm expecting for people to be horrible people, so I don't judge them, and I'm not going to castigate them for doing fucked up things. Isn't that what that sounds like? Do I need to just skip the rest of this interview? It's like two more minutes left.
Yeah.
It's also such a cautionary tale because there's so many women that are in that same circumstance. You love your abuser, and it's very complicated, and love is very complicated. And sometimes, you know, if they really love you, they shouldn't also hurt you. But there's many different layers there that's going on. Maybe they're to keep the family stable or whatever the situation is, and it can be so hard to get out.
Yeah.
What would you want other women to hear that are in this situation that know this is like, you know, what do you want to tell them?
To see the signs. To see the signs, and I think that, and what we have at our church is domestic violence abuse ministries. We have to be able to bring awareness to these signs. And I think that we suffer for the lack of knowledge. If we don't, as a community, bring these signs, then guess what? We'll stay with expectation.
Well, he had a lot of signs.
Yes.
Wasn't he 26 prior arrests?
26. Can y'all type that in the chat for me? I want to make sure that y'all heard that. 26 prior arrest. 26. Keep in mind, he's 34 years old. 26 prior arrests. And I'm assuming that's not counting what he's arrested for now.
Sometimes you know someone's a bad guy, but you still love him. I mean, women, you know, a lot of people love bad guys, dangerous, this, that. It's like, it's really complicated.
And it's not like she did not try to get out of it because the PFA was there.
Right.
And my thing is, the city has to come up with a plan to have some funding just for PFAs. In other words, have people on call.
What? So that we need to put money into telling women that if you date a thug, he might whoop your ass. That needs to be funded. So let's think about this for a minute. Let's think about this for a minute. We got a lot of people in the building right now. We got a couple people in here. If y'all would hit that thumbs up for me. Tell me if I'm looking at this wrong. We won't, and especially in these urban schools, they get really low test scores. The worst schools in America don't have current textbooks. They've got raggedy chairs, raggedy desks. The bathrooms smell like piss. They won't cut the grass. They've got rundown schools. We won't fund that. But we need to come together and put together a fund so that women can have resources so people can tell them not to date jackasses. So are you telling me with 26 prior arrests, she didn't know what type of person he was? She had no idea. She was just bamboozled, had no clue, even though he had recently got arrested even while they were together in 2018. So that means she had 2019, 2020, and 2021, and a lot of 2022. We're halfway through the year. And in 4 years, she didn't leave him, since at least the one incident that we do know that she was aware of while they were together, which was 2018. Hello? Somebody talk to me. So we need to fund resources for women, for people to tell them not to get themselves in these positions and how to get out, or even how to avoid them altogether. Because you know, a lot of what I talk about is I talk about solutions, preventative, so we don't even get to this point. So it sounds like what he's saying is you guys need to fund me. Does anybody want to create a GoFundMe and give me $80,000? I could do something with it. I could definitely do something positive with it. But you're already getting me for free. You don't have to pay to hear me say this. But they don't want to share this resource. They don't want to listen to this resource. This resource that don't cost them anything. The person who's telling them, Thug Zoo, you date thugs, you date death, live by the thug, die by the thug. But they don't want to hear that. And I've been speaking that message for 4 years, and they don't want to hear that for free. Let me just skip this. This is pissing me off.
Scene in front of a West Philadelphia grocery store, a deadly stabbing in the middle of the morning. The victim stabbed repeatedly, including once in the face. And tonight, a person of interest is in police custody. Our Ellen Cologe has the very latest for us.
A gruesome crime in front of a grocery store in broad daylight leaves neighbors shocked and saddened that anyone could care so little about human life.
That's very scary, very. I'm scared for everybody. I'm scared for our children. I just think that was pure hate, whatever happened.
Disbelief over what happened here at 54th and Chestnut in broad daylight. Police say a man repeatedly stabbed a woman in this gold minivan just after 8 o'clock this morning.
She has a current PFA against the boyfriend, and now she's deceased. So we have another life lost. Probably over some nonsense.
It's sad, you know, this is horrible how, you know, women are treated, you know, their lives just mean nothing.
This surveillance video from a grocery store was taken just minutes before the brutal stabbing, where police say the man stabbed the woman several times throughout her body, including her face. In fact, the crime was so horrific that sources tell Fox 29 the knife was still embedded in her head when police arrived on the scene.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful.
Now, right now, police are still saying very little about this case, but they are confirming that they have a 34-year-old man in custody right now who they are describing as a person of interest. In Old City, Ellen Cologe, Fox 29 News.
Even the simplest things that I ask people to do, to share this message so more people can get notified when I tell them just click the thumbs up. I've actually had pushback about that when people say, well, why do you demand people hit the thumbs up? Because I'm like, it don't cost nothing. It's free. It helps me. It helps other people know that we're live and come listen to these stories. Because I'm trying to put this information out in hopes that we can save children, we can save mothers, we can save fathers, we can save these situations that are imploding on themselves. 6 kids and raising them under one roof is a lot of pressure for anybody to deal with. Even if you were rich, somebody talk to me, please. No matter how much money you have, raising 6 children is an immense responsibility. Okay? So again, I say that in hopes that we will open our mind, open our heart, and listen to the message that I've been trying to put out there for a long time now. But I want to say to Ashley Lockhart, R.I.P. I'm not going to even talk about that screenshot right there, but that's from her Facebook page. But Nonetheless, her Facebook page is still open, but RIP. I just think we can do better, and I definitely hope that the family will understand where I'm coming from, but make sure you guys share the story. So this is the message that I think needs to be shared, but we got to start getting away from these empty messages. People who put a pretty bow and put sprinkles on it, and then we just think it sounds good, as opposed to somebody who's been giving you solutions. I believe that babies' lives matter, so let's act like it, okay? Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this story, okay? Thank you.